Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Dima Tutorials, and Dima Tutorials, as already known, is an educational channel on YouTube, on Facebook, and on TikTok. And today we're going to be looking at phrases and clauses. We're going to be focusing on adjective phrases and clauses. Okay, adjective phrases and clauses. This is the second episode of my series on phrases and clauses. Okay, in my previous video, I talked about noun phrases and clauses. Today we're going to be focusing on adjective phrases and clauses. We're going to learn how to identify them, in your exams. Okay, when you see a group of underlined words and you're asked to identify the grammatical name of the group of underlined words, okay, it will be very easy for you to identify it as an adjective phrase or an adjective clause if it is. Okay, I encourage you to watch this video to the end because they're going to be learning the secrets that will help you to identify a group of underlined words as an adjective phrase or as an adjective clause. Okay, now in my previous video I already talked about the difference between clauses and phrases. Now when you talk about phrase, a phrase is a group of underlined words that does not contain a finite verb and does not contain a subject. When you have a group of underlined words that is devoid of subject and a finite verb, we call it a phrase. Now let's look at these examples. The book on the shelf is interesting. The book on the shelf is interesting. Okay. Now, if I underline on the shelf, okay? If I underline on the shelf, now this group of underlined words does not contain a subject and it does not contain a verb, okay? This is a preposition, this is an article, and this is a noun. This is a preposition, this is an article, and this is a noun. So it does not contain a subject and does not contain a verb. So this is a phrase, okay? Is a phrase. Now let's look at the second sentence. The book that is on the shelf is interesting, okay? Now if I underline there is on the shelf, okay? There is on the shelf. Now this group of underlined words contains a subject and contains a verb, okay? That is a subject and is a verb, okay? That is a subject because it refers back to book, okay? So that is the subject and is the verb in the underlined words. So this is a clause and this is a phrase. When you have a group of underlined words and you've identified it to be a phrase, okay? Now check the first word in the group of underlined words. Check the first word, okay? Check the first word. If the first word is a preposition, it's likely going to be an adjective phrase because adjective phrases usually begin with prepositions. Okay, prepositions on, till, for, with. Okay, they should begin with prepositions. The book on the shelf is interesting. Now we have on here. Okay, on is a preposition. On is a preposition. Okay, so this is an adjective phrase. Okay, this is an adjective phrase. It begins with a preposition. Adjective phrases usually begin with prepositions. Okay, now adjective clauses, okay, are also called relative clauses because they usually begin with relative pronouns. Okay, they usually begin with relative pronouns like that, who, whose, which. Okay, these are relative pronouns that usually begin relative clauses. Okay, I hope you're noting this down. Adjective phrases usually begin with prepositions. Okay, adjective clauses usually begin with relative pronouns that, who, whose, whom, which. So they usually begin with relative pronouns. So this is an adjective phrase and this is an adjective clause. Okay, this is an adjective clause, this is an adjective phrase. So in your exams, once you've been able to identify a group of underlined words as an adjective phrase, okay, or an adjective clause, the function is usually to modify a noun or a pronoun. Now, in the case of an adjective clause, the noun that is modifying usually comes before it. That is, adjective clause usually come immediately after the noun that is modifying. Now, this is book. Okay, book is the noun that the this adjective clause is modifying. Okay, this adjective clause is telling us more about this book. The book that is on the shelf, okay, not the book that is on the table. It's telling you specifically about the book. Okay, so it's telling you, giving you more information about this book, this noun book. Okay, so adjective clauses usually come immediately after the noun, they are modifying. So that is how to identify adjective phrases and adjective clauses. I hope you understood it. Now it's time for us to look at past questions. Here, this is WASC past questions. Now, whether you are sitting for WASC, whether you are sitting for JAMB, whether you are sitting for post-TMU, okay, it's important for you to learn phrases and clauses. Okay, you have to fully understand phrases and clauses. For so many years, JAMB does not ask questions on phrases and clauses, but last year, JAMB asked questions on phrases and clauses. Ninila post-TMU for so many years, so many universities did not ask questions on phrases and clauses. They usually do not ask questions on phrases and clauses, but last year, a lot of my students told me that questions were asked on phrases and clauses in their post-UTME. So it's important for you to really understand how to identify phrases and clauses, the different types of phrases and clauses, okay, and how to identify them. It's very important, okay? Now, like I said, the grammatical function of an adjective phrase is to modify a noun or a pronoun. Now, let's look at a question from what's past questions. Okay, now let's go to the 90s. Okay, now let's look at 1990. Let's look at 1993. Okay, let's look at 1993. We have we are going to look at the underlined words and identify their grammatical names and functions. Okay, we're going to identify their grammatical names and functions. Now we have the usual energy that goes into achievement in any art or sport can and should function finally to help the individual increase his own power and perfect his abilities. Okay, increase his own power and perfect his abilities. Now we have that goes into achievement in any art or sport. Okay, now what is the grammatical name of the underlined words? Can you identify the grammatical name of the underlined words? First, it starts with a relative pronoun. Okay, relative pronoun that. Okay, it starts with a relative pronoun that. Remember I told you that relative clauses or adjective clauses, okay, always begin with relative pronouns that, which, who, whom, whose. Okay, they just begin with relative pronouns. Now we have these underlined words beginning with a relative pronoun that. Okay, now another reason why it's a relative clause, okay, or an adjective clause is because it contains a verb. Okay, that is the subject. It contains a verb. Now another thing to check is the noun that is modifying. Remember I told you that relative clauses or adjective clauses always come after the noun they are modifying. Okay, now we have energy. Energy is the noun that this relative clause or adjective clause is modifying. Okay, this is an adjective clause modifying the noun energy. Okay, energy is an adjective clause modifying the noun energy. So that is it about 1993 question. Okay, now let's look at 1994. We have, just as Oliha was about to beat a retreat, he was held by strong masculine men who overpowered him and carried him to the quarters of the village foremost occult healer, who alone knew how to cure lunatics. Okay, this is from 1994 past questions. You know that is in the section on comprehension passages that you see questions on grammatical names and functions. Okay, so the underlined words are who alone knew how to who alone knew how to cure lunatics. Who alone knew how to cure lunatics. Now let's look at the first word. The first word is who. Okay, who is the first word, which is a relative pronoun. So it's a relative clause or an adjective clause. Okay, so who is a pointer to it being an adjective clause. Okay, so secondly, contains a verb new. Okay, Thirdly, it comes after the noun that is modifying healer. Okay, so that is it about 1994 and 1993. Okay, that is it about adjective phrases and clauses. I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned something important from this video. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys again very soon. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click on the subscribe button. And for those who are going to sit for JAMB next year, we are starting an online class for you guys. We are starting an online class on Monday, 4th of November 2024. So it's an online class for you guys. For those who are interested in scoring 300 and above, the fee is 1,000 naira per subject per month. I have other teachers who have joined me to help coach people to secure admission next year by smashing your JAMB TME and subsequently smash your post TME. So if you're interested in getting admission next year, make sure you join my online class. If you're sitting for JAMB next year, make sure you join my online class. Use the number that is on the screen to send me a WhatsApp message. Like I said, the fee is minimal, just 1,000 naira per subject per month. Okay, we are starting on Monday. Make sure you join us. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye bye.